Good evening and welcome into Marcelo Trujillo Coliseum for the 2022 home opener of Grises de Humacao, the Humacao Grays, alongside Victor Mansoure. I'm Craig Feda, and we're so glad you can be with us wherever you are tuned in from. We've got an opening ceremony here to kick off the season for the Grays, and we don't have a lot of details about it, but we're going to let you watch that when that starts, and then Victor and I will be back in a few moments after that to get you ready for the 2022 home opener. Victor, the Grays had a tough year last year, and they dropped their opener, but they've already made a few changes, including bringing back, I guess you could call him the legend, Ricky Sanchez.
Good afternoon, Craig, and good afternoon, everyone watching tonight's matchup. Absolutely. We got a lot going on, especially with the quick 32-game season in less than 80 days. So if you are Humacao playing your first home game, that's what you want to do. You want to bring in experience. You want to bring in players that can start contributing so you can have a jump on the first 10 games there and see if you can fight for a playoff spot down the line.
And Humacao had a tough one in their opener. They fell 80-73 to Capitanes de Arecibo, but they took them into overtime. They played well at times, but they just couldn't pull it off in the end.
They did, and that's the key for tonight's matchup. You want to be consistent. Humacao started out with a very good first quarter and a very good third quarter, but they were not able to keep that throughout 45 minutes. So if you're Humacao playing your first game at home, those are some key aspects that you want to bring in, such as you want to keep pushing the ball in transition. You want to keep putting pressure on Arecibo's defensive team. See if you can win the free throw game. That means get to the free throw more than your opponent. Definitely a big one for them. And to their last weakness, which is trying to limit the turnovers. So if you lower the turnovers, play a game with Arecibo hand to hand, hopefully they can walk out of here with a W.
As we talked about a moment ago, the Grays made a couple of changes. They've added Jordan Swing and Melvin Millet and Alexander Kapos to the roster prior to this game. And Grises will have their hands full. There's no question about it. Arecibo, coming off of a championship last year, they were 23-9. They were first in Division A in PSN. They've got some outstanding players who have played on National Federation teams. But the guy that they're going to have to look to stop is going to be number 15, Walter Hodge.
Yeah, Arecibo, they're coming in strong. They're definitely, they're the defending champions, and they're trying to go for it again. The ownership, the coaches, the players, that's their expectation. Anything less than a championship for Arecibo this year would not be considered a successful season. So they're going to come out strong. Like you said, Walter Hodge, the reigning MVP last year's competition. They also have national team play in Mr. David Huertas. They have Victor Liz also at the two guard, who can definitely take some pressure off the point guard and also create his own shot. They also have a very good presence on the boards and inside. So Arecibo really has a full squad, and you can expect them to try to build what they had last year. Last year, Craig, they finished with an outstanding 13-3 record on the road. So you would think that they're going to try to keep that going here in their first away game.
Not only does Arecibo have Victor Liz, Walter Hodge, and David Huertas, they've added Jezreel de Jesus as well. I saw him last week playing for Real Esteli in the BCL Americas playoffs. He averaged 17.7 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 3.7 assists in that playoff tournament. And so it's going to be a very tall order. Perhaps one of the things that the Grays can do is they can maybe run. When you look at the age of some of these players for Arecibo, Victor Liz, 35 years old, Walter Hodge, 35 years old, David Huertas, 34 years old. Maybe they can try to get them into a little bit of a track beat and wear them down.
Yeah, and that's where you want to set your game plan for. You know, you want to make sure if you're Humacao that you put a lot of ball pressure, okay? You put pressure on the passing lanes, have a strategy for what you're going to do down low once the ball gets to the post. And then see if you can get some rebounds and push the ball in transition once you have possession. Because if they play straight up half-court game with Arecibo just has too much power for them. So you have got to have a good defensive presence, secure that rebound, and push the ball in transition.
Humacao wants what Arecibo has. They've had 7 championships since 2005, and it's time now for the opening ceremony here at Marcelo Trujillo Coliseum. It's the home opener in 2022 for the Grises de Humacao. Once again, good evening and welcome into Marcelo Trujillo Coliseum for the 2022 home opener of Grises de Humacao, the Humacao Grays, alongside Victor Mansoure. I'm Craig Feta, and we are so glad you can be with us wherever you're tuned in from. And we just had a wonderful opening ceremony here for the 2022 home opener. And Victor, the Humacao Grays, as we talked about just a few moments ago, they made some changes, and we are seeing at least one of those changes in the starting lineup as Jordan Swing, a 31-year-old from the University of Alabama, Birmingham, will be starting for the Grays tonight, along with Gabriel Velardo Del Rio, Juan Lake, George Matos, and the legend Ricky Santos. What do you think of that starting lineup?
Good evening, Greg, and good evening, everybody watching tonight's matchup. Well, I think that Humacao does need to do that, especially in the beginning of the season. They're trying to find their ideal squad. Who are their main players? Who can they count on? So you're going to see a few lineup changes, especially in the first 10 games of the season, until you really find that synchronism, that cohesion between guys. So I think this is complete changes at times. So you can see the changes already only in their second game into it. But I think that if you're Humacao, that's completely acceptable and expected, so you can have a competitive squad going into tonight's game.
Pedro Gonzalez has his work cut out for him, as he will no doubt be tinkering with different lineups tonight against Capitanes de Arecibo, the defending 2021 BSN champions, led by Rafael Cruz in his 29th season. Starting for Arecibo, it's going to be Joseph Soto, Victor Liz, Chinamalu Elonu, Chris Gaston, a new addition to the lineup prior to this game, 32-year-old from Fordham University, and David Huertas, who we also talked about in the open. A lot of experience in this Capitanes starting lineup.
A lot of experience and a lot of skill. Soto, a great point guard, is able to see the floor, feed guys. Victor Liz, David Huertas, you know, they can get buckets, they can get themselves shots. And Gaston had himself a great first game. So let's see how he comes out for this second game. And Elonu, you know, just a man that dominates the inside, dominates the board, just a physical presence. For some people, he was actually the MVP of Arecibo in the first part of the season last year. So you can see from the consistency they have maintained their core guys, their main players. They're going all in. They're trying to win back-to-back championship. So the Capitanes de Arecibo starting five looking really strong.
It's going to be interesting to watch the battle between Elonu and Daquan Lake for the Grays. Daquan Lake, 6'10" out of Arizona State. He's played in Hungary, he's played in Minsk, and he was recently with the Oklahoma City Blue in the NBA G League, where he was averaging 5.7 points and 6 rebounds in 7 games. So when you look at that matchup between Daquan Lake and Chinamalu Elonu, who would you give the early advantage to just on paper?
Well, I think if you look at it like this, I would take Elonu just because he has been around the team. He knows the system. Okay, obviously a super physical presence inside. So there's not a learning curve here. He's been with the program already. He knows the coaching staff. He knows the plays. So I would give him the advantage. I would give Arecibo the advantage. But once again, we're playing a basketball game that is 0-0, 5 versus 5. So it can go either way. Let's see how guys come out, especially maintaining consistency. Humacao had great first quarter and third quarter in their game against Pirata de Quebradilla. Let's see if they can keep it consistent throughout the 40 minutes. But if it was to give a head matchup, I would go with Elonu at this point.
That's my partner, Victor Mansoure, and any team that would have Victor on their team would no doubt come out ahead.
Well, I appreciate that, Greg. I appreciate that. I wouldn't go that far. I'll keep myself outside the court right now.
Let's listen to the national anthem. anthems are complete, and we are just a few moments away from the 2022 home opener for Grises de Humacao. Alongside Victor Mansoure, I'm Craig Feda, and Victor says just signed Ricky Sanchez. He was kind of semi-retired. How much difference do you think Ricky Sanchez can make coming into this one?
Well, I think you can make a lot of difference. You know, when you're building the roster, you want to look for young guys that are upcoming, but you also need guys that are in their prime and to contribute. And you also need the veterans, the guys that are going to keep the locker room focused, the guys that are going to be able to filter out some things. So if I am Coach Pedro Gonzalez, I'm very happy with Ricky Sanchez's addition. Someone that has been around the block, knows the game, knows the Puerto Rican League, knows BSN. So he's somebody that's very valuable. It's almost like an extension of the coach to the roster. So I think it's been a great pickup, and I expect him to actually, independent of the age, be able to be a contributor to this Humacao team.
And you'd have to think that Pedro Gonzalez was absolutely thrilled to land Ricky Sanchez with all the young players that he has up and down his roster. You look up and down Arecibo, they've got a lot of players with a lot of experience. They don't have nearly as many young players as Humacao has. And so a presence like Ricky Sanchez, when you look up and down Grises, they've got a number of players that are 23 years old and younger. And so I think he's going to show them the right way to play this game. And if they want to get to where Arecibo is, they're going to have to follow Ricky Sanchez's lead.
Well, and you're absolutely right about that, Greg. You know, a veteran like this, what he brings is high expectations. You expect guys to get to practice early, stay there late, you know, stay focused throughout the season, independent of the up and downs of the wins. So stay consistent, and that's what you expect. He demands a high level of execution. That's just from being a pro. When you have been a professional for these many years, that is what he's going to bring. He's going to bring that credibility to your roster, to your practices, to your games. So if you are Coach Pedro Gonzalez, that kind of leadership is extremely important for those who are still figuring this out. How do I perform? At the same time, don't put myself too much pressure. If I underperform, how do I not go down that valley? So a guy like this can put your hands around your shoulder and say, listen, young man, this is how this is going to go. Been there before. So extremely value to add Ricky Sanchez to the squad.
Just a moment ago, we had a look at our game officials, Senors Martinez, Hall, and De Leon. We are just about ready for tip-off. Again, the starting lineups for Grises de Humacao: Jordan Swain, Gabriel Velardo Del Rio, Daquan Lake, George Matos, and as we talked about, the legend, I think he's approaching legendary status, Ricky Sanchez. And for Capitanes de Arecibo, Joseph Soto, Victor Liz, Kinamalu Elonu, Chris Gaston, and David Huertas. Got to be a little bittersweet for David Huertas. He's from here in Humacao, playing for rival Capitanes de Arecibo.
Yeah, and if you're Humacao, you definitely want to make sure that David Huertas walk out of here with a loss. And how are they going to do that? Okay, if you're Humacao, first of all, stay consistent on defense. They started out with great ball pressure, with great pressure on the wings last game, and then they fell off a little bit. So you got to stay well on the defensive end. You have got to rebound, okay? Win the rebounding battle. Have more possessions than Arecibo. And then once you have it, you want to push. You want to create volume. See if you can get yourself easy buckets. And if not, get yourself fouls to go to the free throw line. So I think those are key aspects for Humacao tonight to make sure that David Huertas does not have a pleasant homecoming to Humacao's city.
And you talked about rebounding, being strong. That was one thing that Capitanes did in their opener against Indios de Mayagüez. A game they won 82-67. They won the rebounding battle 44-35, and they won points in the paint 42-36. Ilanu had 10 points and 11 rebounds in that game in just 18 minutes, just under 19 minutes of play. And so Quan Lake is going to have his work cut out for him, as will the entire Humacao roster. We are just about ready for tip-off here. Glad you can be with us wherever you're tuned in from. Alongside Victor Mansouri, I'm Craig Feda, and I think we're going to have a ceremonial jump ball.
Yes, we will, and you know, it's such important to have this kind of ceremony, because so much goes into on the administration side to be able to have a league, to have a schedule. You know, so here we are with the BSN that have 32 regular season games. You know, where teams are divided into 2 divisions. So an absolute positive moment here for Puerto Rico, for BSN, as Humacao hosts their first home game of the season.
It's going to be Daquan Lake jumping for Humacao, and it's going to be Chinamalu Elanu for Arecibo. Moments away from tip. And we are underway. Elanu wins the tip, and Arecibo has the first possession of the game. And that's Elanu working in the post. Jump hook. That goes. Nice move by Chinamalu Elanu, getting a couple of points in the paint early for the Capitanes.
That's right. And if you're a veteran team like Arecibo, that's exactly what they did. First possession, get the ball down low to your big fella. Make sure he's comfortable walking into this game.
Elanu with the block, and here comes Arecibo back the other way. In the corner, the drive. Swing just about got a piece of that on the shot by Victor Liz, and here comes Humacao looking for its first points at home. Three-pointer no good by George Matos. Get the offensive rebound, and then up for the stuff.
And that's what we've been speaking about. Rebounding the ball, get yourself possession. In that case, they were able to rebound and get themselves a second chance point wide open for a dunk. That's how you start the season.
That was Daquan Lake. And now Grises looking for their first lead on the game, as Huertas lost the handle.
Great defensive possession there by Lake, able to keep up with Huertas on his left slide, and that's what you want from your big man on that pick and roll.
Swing to his right. Belardo Del Rio has it. And now swing. High left side, shot clock at 7. Drive and the kick out. Now in the corner, 3 on the way. No good. Rebound Lake. A couple of big offensive rebounds early for Daquan Lake, Victor.
Yeah, and you can see he's been very active on the offensive and defensive end, and they're going to need that if they're going to have any chance to walk out of here.
Of course, Matos strikes from long range, and Humacao has the 5-2 lead. Victor Liz into the corner, now back to Gaston. Here's Soto, out to Liz. Side steps for the 3 with the shot clock winding down. No good. Rebound to Belardo Del Rio. Here comes Humacao looking to extend. Into the lane is Belardo Del Rio. Little jump hook won't go. Rebound tipped and it falls in. Count the bucket for Daquan Lake, and it's a 7-2 lead for Humacao.
That's what you want. Once you get that rebound, push the ball in transition. Go to Arecibo's throat like they did, and they had 2 layups, one on the tip on the offensive end. That's exactly what you want to try to do.
Nice feed inside right there to David Huertas, and Arecibo back to within 3. Matos on the handoff to Swing. Now back inside to Lake. The pass was a little high. It got caught in the net. That three on the way, no good. And the rebound fought for by Jorge Matos, but tipped out of bounds. And it'll stay with Grises.
This is where you start to see the defensive schemes that are so important. So once you have multiple pick and rolls, multiple offensive rebound, we've seen here 2 or 3 times both teams kind of falling asleep with their man on backdoor cuts or offensive rebounds. So you must stay within your principles.
That was a nice job by Swing to sidestep the oncoming defender, step up and stroke that one from 15, and it's Grises back with a 5-point lead, 9-4. And first foul of the game called. That's going to be on Jordan Swing. Swing's a guy they just added. He's one of those guys who has been around a while. Started 72 games for Alabama Birmingham. He's been in the D-League with the Canton Charge. Played in a bunch of countries, and in fact, he was just in Ukraine a few weeks ago when he left just before the invasion in Ukraine. And he was acquired by the Birmingham Squadron of the G-League last month.
Yeah, you can see that Swing does bring that hooper's presence. He's able to get his own basket, scrappy on defense. So tremendous addition to Humacao as you're getting a veteran player. Again, veteran players you can never have enough. You know, that experience of being a professional, have been around different leagues, just adds to that comfort level that one brings. So great addition of adding Swing into the Humacao roster.
Gaston misses both free throws, but there for the dunk putback is Chris Gaston. Are they going to allow it? I thought I heard a whistle.
See, Chris plays a very important position. Sorry, Greg. Chris plays a very important position. You know, playing at the 4-man, he's able to be almost like a point forward of the team. So it's too bad that we actually had a foul before the play, because that would have been a beautiful dunk.
Foul was on Daquan Lake. We saw him with a little push there on Ilanu as Ilanu hits both free throws, his first 2 of the season. Coming up on 6 minutes to play, first quarter. Humacao with a 9-6 lead. Lake into the paint, kick out into the corner, 3 on the way. That's good. Pretty shot there by Gabriel Velardo Del Rio. And Humacao has doubled up Arecibo. At least thought about the jumper. Ball is on the floor. Fighting for it on the floor is Jorge Matos. And the jump ball is called, and Humacao will keep it on the alternating possession arrow. Nice work on the floor, going down to get it. Nobody actually got that ball, Victor. I thought they had it tied up. It just bubbled out of bounds.
Yeah, you know what? But nice work as well. They had 2 men on the ball, and those small things are so important during the basketball game. These 50-50 plays will get you extra possession. So you love to see that from your team, especially in the beginning of the season. You know, put yourself in position to compete, and that's what they did. And the second thing is just what happened now. Attack the rim, have multiple charges into the key area, and if you get a defensive rotation, then kick it out like they did. They already got 3 three-pointers open, able to make one of them, but that's what you do. Multiple penetrations to a kick out so you can have an open shot.
Beautiful drive by Velardo Del Rio to draw the foul. He hits the second free throw. Now the feed to Ilanu, no good. Here's Gaston working and off the glass and in.
Gaston is showing his toolkit. He went down the lane, was able to find the big man on a high-low pass, and then on the second try, he went up and under, finished with the left hand. So you can see that the big man has a lot of skills to play in that forward position.
(13-8) halfway through the first quarter. Grises de Humacao leading Capitanes de Arecibo. And if you're Humacao, Victor, you've got to be pleased with the start.
Absolutely. If you're Coach Pedro Gonzalez, you're pleased with the start. You see right here, get the ball to Lake inside. He goes baseline with the jam, and that's what you do. Keep pounding the ball inside, win that interior battle, and you put yourself in a position to compete against this very good Arecibo team.
Chigamalu Elanu got off early, but now all of a sudden, it's DePaul Lake with the upper hand in that battle of big men as Elanu scores. That three is up and good. How about that with the defender in his face? George Matos scores from long range, and it's 15-10.
Well, Arecibo is giving out the corner threes. They're putting pressure on the perimeter and forgetting the rotations to the corner threes. And Humacao now with back-to-back threes from that corner to try to get themselves an 8-point lead.
Arecibo turns it over again as Huertas has a seat on the bench for Pachi Cruz. There's a look at Victor Liz, the outstanding Dominican. Seen a lot of him in FIBA competitions, Victor.
Yes, we have, and what a great player Victor Liz is, you know, not only on the national team side, but here also in the Puerto Rican League. Just a man that plays both sides of the ball, right? Able to defend. You see him right there picking up the guard, but also on the offensive end can create his own shot. So a great basketball player Victor Liz is.
Jonathan Rodriguez has checked in for Arecibo as Jordan Swing nails the long-range jumper, and it's an 11-point lead now for Humacao.
It's amazing what that three ball would do for you. So once they hit three in a row, here you have a good lead.
Another miss by Arecibo, and Grise looking to extend. That three is up and good! Ricky Sanchez strikes from long range, and it's a 14-point lead for Humacao, and Rafael Cruz wants timeout. And Victor, Arecibo, a veteran team, but surely they did not expect to find themselves down 24-10 on the hot shooting of Humacao straight out of the gate.
Well, that's because Humacao is executing a great game plan. They're getting the ball inside. They're getting drive and dish, and then they're having open players in the perimeter. So after they hit their first one, their second one, you can see the confidence went up. Swing hit one, and now Sanchez just absolutely in transition hitting the three ball while he was guarded. So they're executing the game plan that we spoke about. Get the ball inside, get yourself offensive rebounds, free throws, and it's going to open up the perimeter. Now, if you are Arecibo,
8 from three-point land.
Yeah, if you are Arecibo, that's exactly what you're talking about on that timeout. Say, hey, they already took 8 3-point shots. That means that our perimeter defense is giving up too many penetrations. We're having to rotate, scramble around. Let's make sure we stay with the basic. And stick with your man. Don't get beaten, and have the defensive rotation that you practice.
And if you're Pedro Gonzalez for Humacao, you might want to tell your team, don't fall too much in love with that three-pointer because you're not going to shoot 60% from beyond the arc all night.
Correct. What you want to do here is get a rhythm. Now all of a sudden, Arecibo is having to play up on you, and that's going to open up even more driving lanes. So it is kind of like you try to draw them outside to you so you can take that advantage.
Not only the driving lanes, but that could open things up for Daquan Lake inside as well. So here comes Ilanu up over Lake, and that's good. Tough shot.
Tough shot is right. Great way to have his body balance. Even though he spun, I believe the not the right way, but he was able to get himself a look there and beautifully touch it off the glass.
2 minutes 45 seconds to play in this first quarter. Good work by Lake again as he goes up over Ilanu and lays it in. Now Liss on the drive. Count the bucket. He's going to go to the line. That's going to be the second foul on Daquan Lake.
And that's too bad because they got beat in the perimeter too easy, and then Lake had to come in a rotation, commits his second foul on the help, and has to sit down. And he's been having a tremendous first part of this first quarter. So that's a loss right there with the two fouls. Let's see if he can hold up the entire game and not get in foul trouble.
Liss misses the free throw, so it stays 24-12. Del Rio misses the three-point shot. Liss into the lane again, gives it up nicely to Devin Collier, and he stuffs it home.
That's what comes down to staying with your man. Victor Liz with a beautiful in and out. It just broke the defender's back. Got into the lane and just dropped it off for his big man. Well done, Victor Liz.
Pull-up jumper by Jordan Swing is up and good. He's got 6 now.
You can see Swing keeps the ball on his right side so he can have that quick pull-up with his left hand.
Collier working on Lake, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Saw him hook that off arm.
Yeah, just got a little bit anxious there on that spin move going baseline. He had the right idea, but was just trying to get over his man. And with that hook, not allowed, sir. That's going to go the other way.
Lake's got to be careful. He's already got 2 fouls. Nathaniel Butler now. His shot a little too strong. And now Lanu scoring again. That's his 10th point.
Ilanu just showing the veteran presence, being able to be a secure player. Every time he has touched the ball, something good has happened for Arecibo, and he's keeping them in it along with Victor Liz.
There's Jordan Swing with 5 on the shot clock. Into the lane with the left hand. Pretty finger roll layup in traffic up over Devin Collier.
What a beautiful play.
30 seconds
the man
to play.
had to step up on him. He just went right around him and the finger roll.
And the tough drive in traffic by Brandon Boyd won't go. And here comes Swing back the other way. Up ahead to Lake, and that's good. As the first quarter comes to an end, Jordan Swing throws it up to Daquan Lake. Lake scores, and at the end of one quarter, Humacao leads Arecibo 32-18.
Humacao has been executing to perfection here what we spoke about in terms of rebounding the ball and pushing the ball up the floor. Swing has got himself going lately. Beautiful assist there. And Humacao has got themselves a really good first quarter, shooting the ball at a very high 72%.
That was Nathaniel Butler on that last bucket. Second quarter action live from Humacao when we return.
Se puede con un préstamo personal de la Cooperativa Oriental. Ponte al día con tus metas financieras con un cómodo pago mensual que tienes hasta 90 días para hacer el primer pago. Llama al 787-418-2021. Cooperativa de Ahorro y Crédito Oriental, la alternativa de todo un pueblo.
Welcome back to Marcelo Trujillo Coliseum, where after one quarter, Grises de Humacao lead Capitanes de Arecibo 32-18, and don't call it an upset quite yet, Victor, but Humacao looked pretty good there in that first quarter on the strength of their outside shooting. In that first quarter, they were 5 of 9 from three-point range.
Yeah, and that opened a lot of things. Obviously, knocking down 5 three-pointers helps a lot. But also they attacked the basket and finishing with a 72%, 8 for 11 on the twos, has led to them to have the high number of assists. So you cannot ask for a better quarter than 32 points scored in 10 minutes against a very strong Arecibo team. So Humacao now goes into what we spoke previously, maintaining this consistency in the second quarter. You have yourself a 14-point lead. Can you get it to 28? Can you get it to 25? Don't stay with where you are, but go for more.
And you know Arecibo is not going to panic. This is a veteran team that's been around the block. They've played in a lot of big games. This is an early season game. There's no reason for them to hit the panic button just yet. You know they're going to make a run here probably pretty quick in this second quarter.
Yeah, and it starts with Arecibo's defensive side. Giving up 32 points in 10 minutes is a lot for them, for their expectations. So they need to make sure that they get themselves a better defensive sequence, get a couple of stops to get back in the game.
Swing leads Humacao with 9 points. Tina Ilanu leads Arecibo with 10. Arecibo misses their first shot of the second quarter, and Humacao looking to extend this 14-point lead. Your swing, left side, shot clock at 5. Looking for a little help, ball stolen away. Swing steals it back. He puts up the long shot, no good. Rebound, ping-ponged around, and I think the officials are going to talk it over. That shot clock sounded, but that ball looked like it went off the front iron and straight down. So the shot clock should have reset to 14.
Yeah, inverter whistle there by the ref. The ball definitely hit the rim, so we're going back to 14 seconds on the shot clock. Reminding everyone that BSN does play through the FIBA rules. So once you get that offensive rebound, this change has been made a couple of years ago. We don't go back to 24 anymore. You go to 14, and they're going to take it on the sideline with 14 seconds on the shot clock.
And this is a fantastic rule. Now inside, Timaj Parker Rivera gets fouled on his way up before he does a couple of chin-ups, and he's going to go to the free throw line. Foul is going to be on number 25, Brandon Boyd.
That's not good enough. You see, you got into a scramble defense because you tried for the steal on that inbounds pass, and all of a sudden you need to rotate. So Humacao gets themselves on the free throw line without even executing a play. So if you're Arecibo, stay disciplined. Don't try to hit that home run. Stay with what has been practiced.
And Victor, you mentioned a scramble defense. Why don't you describe what that scramble defense concept is?
Well, the moment that you get beaten, the moment that the offense has an advantage, now you start to have help players come through, needing to stop the ball. So now all of a sudden, everybody's rotating, trying to get to the open man, and you are in scramble mode. So that is something that is practice. Professional teams are really good at being able to match up after scrambling. But you want to get to that moment where it is your last opportunity, and that's not what happened on that last possession.
Jonathan Rodriguez scores for Arecibo, and now here comes Parker Rivera, and up with the left hand is Nathaniel Butler stuffing it home. Nice recovery there defensively by Humacao. They do give up the three-point shot, but a nice rebound by Melvin Millett. He just ripped it out of the hands of the Arecibo player, and that leads to an opportunity for Humacao to extend this lead. Nice ball movement on the outside. Jordan swing to his left. Shot clock at 7. And swing was getting bottled up and gets bailed out with the foul call. See if that's going to be on Huertas.
But you live with that. Your big man stepped into the play. You were trapping. It felt like Swing actually lost his balance, but the referee called a foul. But you live with that one.
That's what I thought.
Stay within the game plan.
So Swing has a seat on the bench for the first time in this one. And Luis Rivera checks in. He launches up the shot. That misses wide left. Luis Rivera, 5'11", just 23 years old, one of those younger players. And now Darian Spotsville checking in for Humacao. 6'5" guard from Eastern Michigan University. So now as Humacao gets into their bench, Victor, let's see how Arecibo responds.
Absolutely. This is where you need to maintain what the starters have done. So rebound the ball, attack the rim, make your outside shots, okay? But at this moment also, you want to try to see if the guys that are coming through the bench can actually put more ball pressure, can actually put more defensive pressure on the ball to see if they can get themselves extra possessions here against Arecibo.
Only one starter on the floor now for Humacao. That is Gabriel Belardo Del Rio. And that foul is going to be on Melvin Millett. Joining Belardo Del Rio on the floor, Darian Spotsville, Melvin Millett, Imaj Parker Rivera, and Nathaniel Butler. Boy, Melvin Millett playing some defense.
Yeah, he's got his eyesight on David Huertas, knowing that Huertas is one of their main playmakers. So you saw that last time the referee kind of had that bumping foul called, that hand check, you know. So that's what you want to do. Like we said, stay aggressive on the defensive end.
Shot by Collier, no good. And here comes Humacao back the other way. Stolen away by Arecibo. Jonathan Rodriguez inside to Collier. He lets a couple of defenders go by. Nice move by Devin Collier.
Well, you don't want to give guys easy buckets. So in that sense, it would perhaps be a good strategy to just wrap the guy around and make himself earn it at the free throw line.
Nice movement on offense for Humacao again. 7 to shoot. Oh, a beautiful feed underneath the bucket to Imaj Parker Rivera, and he lays it off the glass. And the lead is back to 15.
Baseline drive, baseline drift. What does that mean? Once you get that ball going baseline, there's a good angle to receive the ball on the baseline. So we say baseline drive, baseline drift, and that's exactly what happened that time.
Strong work under the bucket there by Devin Collier to go around the defender, and he scores 2 points as we approach the 6-minute mark in the second quarter.
So Arecibo starting to win the pain game, starting to get themselves really close to the basket.
And Victor Liz scores in transition. And Pedro Gonzalez wants timeout with just about 1 minute to play here in the second quarter. His team with a 13-point lead, make it 11. And led by as many as 15. And this is a good timeout by Pedro Gonzalez, Victor.
It is a very good timeout. You want to stop when your team is not having a good sequence. And that time they turned the ball over twice. They're giving up, like we said, points in the paint. So you must stop, regroup, huddle up, go over a few things. You don't want to feed Arecibo too much momentum because you know that they're dangerous enough to get back in this game in just a couple of minutes.
This is the 2022 home opener for Grises de Humacao. They dropped their opener 80-73 in overtime to Piratas de Quebradillas. Capitanes de Arecibo 1-0 on this early season. They won their opener against Indios de Mayagüez 82-67. Arecibo lifted the championship BSN trophy last year, their 7th championship since 2005. And I don't care what league you're playing in what country, that's an impressive run, Victor.
Yes, it is. And the Arecibo program, just known for being victorious, just known for being one of the lead programs in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico that just has so much passion for basketball. It's almost like a religion. You can see the BSN has been around for so many years. It's one of the main leagues in the Americas. So Arecibo is one of the main teams in the league, and they expect nothing but excellence, going further down in the playoffs and walking out of here with the championship as well.
It's curious that we have not seen Walter Hodge on the floor yet for Arecibo. Is that a case of him just trying to get his game legs under him?
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, he was playing in overseas. That just finished a few days ago, so he's made himself back to Puerto Rico, so he'll be available here shortly as he is getting his legs under him to start the season. So you can expect that. So for Humacao, you want to try to take advantage of this. Here you are in the beginning of the season, first home game. Make sure that you can put pressure enough and then in the closing moments, put yourself a chance to beat them.
Long three was no good. And Arecibo with a player on the floor, and that's going to be a foul. That's a good foul to take right there because Humacao had numbers. We talked about Walter Hodge a moment ago, playing overseas. He won a championship in Kuwait just a couple of weeks ago. He averaged 20.9 points and 6.1 assists in that season.
Yeah, and that foul that just happened there, Craig, is a great defensive foul. But at the same time, FIBA is taking a look at that. That kind of foul has stopped a lot of transitions. So unless the defensive player is actually trying to make a play at the ball, there's talks about making it a intentional foul or getting yourself 2 free throws plus the possession. That way we can have some fast breaks again, because it is a very smart strategic defensive foul.
I almost thought that they could have considered the unsportsmanlike there, but I think there were enough defenders behind the play that would not have warranted the unsportsmanlike as Gabriel Bilardo Del Rio scores. Back to a 13-point edge for Humacao. Here's Huertas, right side, driving.
And you live with that.
And
Lake tried to block
on
that.
The baseline.
Yeah, he was just a little bit too late, so the goaltend was called, but you live with that. Your big man hustling to try to protect the rim. It was a close one, but good play by Lake, even though he came just a bit late.
Four and a half minutes to play in this second quarter. Humacao maintaining an 11-point lead. Juan Lake back in the game for Humacao. They tried to get it to him, and now here's Jonathan Rodriguez at the other end. He draws the foul. That is going to be on Darian Spotsville. And here's that run. Here's that.
Yep, starting to be a little bit sloppy with the ball, having a few turnovers, and that's leading to Arecibo's comeback. So if you're Humacao at this moment, you want to slow things down, make sure you get good possessions. Again, try to get the ball inside, try to get to the free throw line. As we see here, a one-handed free throw that is very rare. I don't think I have seen that in a while, but Jonathan Rodriguez, he has made it, so I guess it works for him.
That may be the most unusual free throw motion I've ever seen, Victor.
Yeah, well, if he shoots it better with one hand than two hands, why not? You know, it is different, but hey, if it's working for him, good job finding a solution.
Well, he's 5 of 5 on the season from the free throw line now, so it must be working. And Humacao now with 4 starters back on the floor as they try to stem this run by Arecibo. That 3 rings out, and as we expected, the hot shooting from beyond the arc was not going to last forever. And now Capitanes with a chance to cut into this 9-point lead even further. Nifty behind the back pass there by Huertas. He gets it back, launches the 3. No good. Rebound Lake. Swing back into the game now, so all 5 starters on the floor for Pedro Gonzalez. Nice feed inside from Swing to Lake. Up and no, just short. That 3 ball rings out. Lanu gets it back and now a whistle.
That rebounding battle is so important. As you can see now, Arecibo starting to climb up in the rebounding stats. That's their 7th rebound. And it's really important that you get. That's where the possessions are in this game. So they missed the outside 3, but got themselves the offensive rebound. So if you're Humacao, you definitely want to put your attention on the boards and the rebounding battle.
Lanu hits the first free throw. He's 3 for 3 now on the night.
And this is what the Capitanes de Arecibo will do for you. You know, you come out, you have a really strong first quarter. Then in the second quarter, they slow the game down. They start putting their pace, their game system, and all of a sudden they're back into this game.
Lanu now with 12 points. Here comes Alardo Del Rio. Loses the handle, and it's going to be Arecibo ball. Lead is down to 7. Gaston hands it off to Ilanu underneath. Picked up by Lake. Nice pass into the corner to Rodriguez. He gets it back out. 3 on the way from Ilanu. That's no good. And here comes Humacao. Sanchez, that's good.
Practice shot right there. Sanchez just too open for that elbow jumper. He's going to knock 8 or 9 out of 10 that open.
Count the bucket. And going to the free throw line to try to complete the 3-point play is going to be Chris Gaston. Gaston, 32 years old, out of Fordham University. Completes the 3-point play, and the lead is down to 6 as we approach 2 minutes to play in the second quarter. Lardo Del Rio straight to the bucket, up off the glass and in. That's a veteran drive right there by Gabriel Belardo Del Rio.
Yes, it is. And Del Rio can get himself buckets. We see him hit tough jump shots, going baseline. This time just saw an opening, just saw an avenue, and completely explored that, taking the ball all the way to the rim.
Arecibo led early for the first 2.5 minutes of the game, and it's been all Humacao since then, but los Capitanes have made a run here, gotten back to within 6. 1:46 to play in this first half. One more free throw by Victor Liz, and they will have gotten the deficit as close as it's been. He misses, and so it stays at 7. Here comes Belardo Del Rio. Fades away from the right elbow, no good. And you have to applaud the effort there by Chris Gaston, but I think he would have been better served to just let that ball go out of bounds and have it be Arecibo ball.
Yeah, not a great decision there by Del Rio, even though he's a man who plays with a lot of confidence, has scored a few baskets. They were in transition. They had numbers, so they could have gotten something better, and the ball was going out of bounds, but Arecibo gave it right back to Humacao.
Lake into the paint, pretty feed, up off the glass, reverse and in. Tough shot by Gabriel Belardo Del Rio off the nice feed from Daquan Lake. And the lead is back to 9 with 1:18 to play in the second quarter. Stolen away by Jordan Swing. Ball is on the floor. They're going to call it a jump. They will. Alternating possession arrow should be with Arecibo.
So if you're Humacao at this moment with just about a minute to go, you want to play this as a 2-possession offense and a 2-possession defense. What does that mean? That means that you're going to get yourself 2 good quality looks when you have the possession, and you got to get yourself 2 quality stops on the defensive end. Try to break the game down like this with the last minute and see if you can walk out of here with rather than a 9, a 13-point lead, 14-point lead going into the halftime.
So Victor Liz has a seat. And Sanchez to inbound. It's a to Belardo Del Rio. Around the screen. The angle wasn't there on the roll. Belardo Del Rio. From about 6 feet away, gets the bucket to go. Nice pull-up by Gabriel Belardo Del Rio. And he's going to go to the free throw line to try to complete that 3-point play. Well, if you're Humacao, as you said a moment ago, Victor, you wanted 2 good offensive possessions. There's one.
There's one. And Del Rio just saw that it was his time, put his head down, was able to change direction with the ball going underneath his leg, got himself into a pro hop, and just a beautiful floater and a concentration to finish, even though he was fouled.
Completes the 3-point play, and the lead is back to 12. Now Humacao wants one of those 2 good defensive possessions. Gaston handing it off. Gaston gets it back. Now Rodriguez driving on Swing. 3 to shoot. 3 on the way from Gaston, and that is good. And Humacao played that about as well as you can play it, but Gaston just knocked the shot down.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And they played it well, but just the extra pass was able to find a wide open man on top of the key.
Shot clock is off. Game clock at 6. Swing bottled up. Here comes Spotsville. And Matos wanted a foul on that desperation three-point shot, but he got his pocket picked by Brandon Boyd, and so he did not even get the shot off. But if you are Humacao, you've got to be thrilled with this first half in their home opener for the 2022 season. Leading Arecibo going into the half. You're at Marcelo Trujillo Coliseo.
Se puede con un préstamo personal de la Cooperativa Oriental. Ponte al día con tus metas financieras con un cómodo pago mensual que tienes hasta 90 días para hacer el primer pago. Llama al 787-418-2021. Cooperativa de Ahorro y Crédito Oriental, la alternativa de todo un pueblo.
Let's look at some of the highlights here for the first half as we go over some of the halftime numbers for both teams. First for Grises, leading 48-39. Daquan Lake, 8 points and 5 rebounds in that first half. Jordan Swing, 9 points. Gabriel Bilardo Del Rio has 13 to lead Humacao. George Matos has 6 points and 3 assists. Bilardo Del Rio also with 3 assists. Ricky Sanchez has 5 points and 3 assists. Timaj Parker Rivera, 3 points. And Nathaniel Butler has 4 points to round out the scoring for Grises de Humacao. For Capitanes de Arecibo, George Soto held scoreless in that first half. Victor Liz had 5. Chinamalu Elanu had 12 points and 3 rebounds. Chris Gaston, 5 points. David Huertas, 4 points. Jonathan Rodriguez had 4. Brandon Boyd had 3, and Devin Collier had 6. Victor, as we look at some of the team stats, Humacao 18-11 in the rebounding advantage and 15 assists, just 6 for Arecibo.
Yeah, if you're Humacao, you're going into the locker room right now. You're going into halftime feeling good about what you delivered. Okay, they have shot the ball more than Arecibo, so you put yourself in a position to have a higher volume. You've won the rebounding battle, which is a key component, and you also got a lot more assists. So if you're Humacao, you want to stick to that game plan, especially starting out down low and then giving yourself shots on the outside in the second layer. So Humacao continue this game plan, and on the defensive end, try to stop a few of their main guys for Arecibo. As we mentioned, Elanu had a great first half with 12 points, so you got to handle him, as well as their main go-to guys as Victor Liz and David Huertas. So if you're Humacao, stick with your game plan. You put yourself in a position to compete. Keep the foot on the pedal so you can have more shots, so you can have more rebounds, so you can have more assists, and that's going to put you in a position to walk out of here with your first win of the season.
Once again, here at halftime in the 2022 home opener for Grises de Humacao, the Humacao Grays, they lead the defending champions, Capitanes de Arecibo, 48-39. Second half action when we return.
puede con un préstamo personal de la Cooperativa Oriental. Ponte al día con tus metas financieras con un cómodo pago mensual que tienes hasta 90 días para hacer el primer pago. Llama al 787-418-2021. Cooperativa de Ahorro y Crédito Oriental, la alternativa de todo un pueblo.
Welcome back to Marcelo Trujillo Coliseum in Humacao on the lovely island of Puerto Rico. It's the home opener for Grises de Humacao. They lead Capitanes de Arecibo by the score 48-39 after one half of play. And looking up and down the stats, Victor Mansouri, my partner, Arecibo was 1 of 8 from three-point range, and as we talked about after the first quarter, we knew Humacao was going to cool off from three-point range. They ended up shooting 5 of 11 from beyond the arc in that first half. You know Arecibo is going to heat up. They're not going to stay 1 for 8 from three-point land the rest of the way out, and so their shooting is going to cut into this 9-point lead.
Yeah, you got to expect Arecibo to come out aggressive in the second half, try to cut this lead. So if you're Humacao, what you want to do is starts with the defensive end that we have spoken about. Stay within, don't get beaten, don't commit fouls, win the rebounding possession, and make sure that you are able to, on the offensive end, run your sets, have strong decision making to get yourself, because when you rush your offense, when you get too high volume, that can backfire against you. And you don't want that, especially against a very good team like Arecibo. So if you're Humacao, try to build on this 9-point lead by executing, by staying with limiting the turnovers, which they did greatly in the first half, in the first quarter. So stick with that. It's been going well for you. Feed the ball to Lake down low. Get Del Rio a couple shots. Get Swing the ball so he can play make. And then hopefully you're going to build on this 9-point lead, but stay within the defensive schemes that you have prepared for Arecibo, because you expect them to come out strong here in the third quarter.
We just had a moment to look at the leading scorers for both teams. For Arecibo, Chinamalu Elanu he's got 12 points. And for Grises de Humacao, Gabriel Belardo Del Rio with 13. And even though Victor Chinamalu Elanu had 12 points in that first half, Daquan Lake was still pretty effective. He scored 8 points of his own.
Yes.
And
yes,
still pulled down a bunch of rebounds.
Yes, he did. Lake State had a great first half with the 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. And most importantly, he was up to par fighting that battle inside with Elanu, who's a great presence, got himself 12 points already. So if you are Humacao, you want to make sure that Lake stays out of foul trouble, stays in the game, play high minutes in the second half, because he can be the difference maker for you to walk out of here with a win.
Lake did pick up those 2 fouls in the first quarter, but played a clean sheet the rest of the way out. And both of these coaches, you'd have to think, Victor, for Humacao, Pedro Gonzalez is going to say, don't be content shooting the 3 like we were early. Stick to what got us to this lead. And if you're Rafael Pachi Cruz in his 29th season for Arecibo, you're going to say, just play our game. It's not panic time, not even close.
Not at all. And if you're Humacao, you have prepared for this. You have watched enough film in preparing for Arecibo, because you know that they are going to push the ball, try to get a high volume shots, try to come out strong in the second half. So just like you did in the beginning of the game of Humacao, that high energy, the rebounding battle, the pushing the ball in transition, You want to stick with those basics that worked out for you so well in the beginning of the game, and hopefully you can replicate here in the third quarter.
Both teams in the first half shot extremely well from two-point range. Humacao 71% in the first half. Arecibo, pretty good themselves, 66% from two-point range in that first half. 20 minutes to play in the home opener for Grises de Humacao. Alongside Victor Mansoure, I'm Craig Fana. Glad you can be with us wherever you're tuned in from. Coming up next for Humacao, the next home game is going to be Sunday at 8 o'clock local time. That's Eastern time in the U.S. We're taking on Saint-Germain. We will bring that game to you.
And with a quick season.
First, some business to take care of in this one.
Absolutely, Craig. And, with such a short season, it's a sprint. You're playing 32 games in less than 80 days. If you're Humacao, it is very important to try to get some wins, especially early on, so you can fight for that playoff spot within your division.
Back underway here in the second half. And is that going to be an offensive foul? It is. Nice defense by Jordan Lake. Chris Gaston using the body to move him off his mark, and that's going to be an offensive foul every time.
Yeah, and that's where you see the veteran play, the professionalism have been around. So once he felt that hit, he just let it be. So it was a clear contact from the offensive player. So those are the little things that pros bring to you.
Jordan Swing just joining Humacao this week, and a great addition in this game so far. And now the lob to Lake. He goes up and stunts it with the right hand.
That's how we do it. Start the third quarter just like you started the game. Feed the ball down low to Lake. He has been a great presence for you all night. Keep feeding him the ball. Good things will happen.
And now a nice feed to Ilanu underneath, and he's a little slow to get up. So it's a 5-on-4 for Humacao. They lob it inside to Lake again. Kick out, 3 on the way, no good. Boy, Victor, if you're Daquan Lake right there, I think I'm going up strong with that one with Chinamalu Ilanu at the other end of the floor.
Absolutely. You have a 5-on-4 situation. You have the man advantage. Somebody's going to be open, right? In that moment, they took a 3-point shot. But what you want to do is you want to pound the ball inside and make the defense pay for that.
Kick saved by Gabriel Gallardo del Rio. Possession will stay with Arecibo. Soto to inbound. Lanu working on Lake. Splits the defenders, goes up and jams it in with the right hand. Tough move there by Chinamalu Ilanu.
That cannot happen. You practice this all the time. If your help defense, if your trap is coming from the baseline, you should never allow the player to be able to split the two defenders. They got to correct that.
Matos with the steal after the bucket at the other end. Nice outlet pass. And Del Rio scores again. End-to-end action to start off this third quarter.
Del Rio is kind of like their motor. He's going to get them volumes. This is what you're going to do right there. You see, they get the ball again inside. Same exact play to Ilanu down low. So you want to front the post so don't let him catch. Or if he does, then be quick with that trap. You see the trap did not come or was a bit late by Ricky Sanchez. So you want to improve in that sense.
And the third foul on Lake. That three-pointer is up and good by Huertas. And it's down to an 8-point lead. Lardo Del Rio with traffic to his left. It's the defender in the air. Shoots, it rings out. Rebound taken out of there. Arecibo. Huertas leading the charge. And now Soto Around to his left. The lob. My goodness. That was a pretty play. Ilanu scoring again.
Read. Absolutely. Beautiful read. Nice pass on the dime, and the great hands there by Ilanu to be able to finish that. So if you're Humacao, don't allow the dribble penetration, or else you start to leave some certain guys open like they did there.
Sanchez to Lake. Lake did pick up his third foul. He goes strong to the hole, fades away, and hits the shot. He's going to draw the foul on Ilanu.
Beautiful footwork by Lake. Took the ball baseline, spin move, protected the ball with his body, and able to draw the contact and finish with the play. So that's what you do. Your big man is playing well. Feed him the ball and go from there. Lake right now is an absolutely presence for Humacao on the offensive and defensive end.
I think that foul was actually on Chris Gaston, not Chinamalu Ilanu, as Lake misses the free throw. And lane violation.
Lane violation it was, so it will be possession to Arecibo. And Humacao with a 7-point lead with just under 7 minutes to go. Let's see if they can go themselves a few stops and go on a run again.
Pointer by Puertes is short. 6:45 to play third quarter. Up ahead nicely to Matos. He goes up in traffic and lays it in.
That's it. The easiest basket in basketball is a quick transition layup, and that's exactly what they did. Don't have to complicate yourself. Push the ball, run, get yourself open, and go score as close as you can, because that is the easiest thing you can do.
And the foul is going to be on Gabriel Bilardo Del Rio.
And I don't know if we saw there in that shot,
lead.
but we had Pedro Gonzalez, Greg, the coach, pretty much stepping into play. We almost had 6 men playing defense. That's the spirit. You get coaches that are very passionate, very into the game, that they sometimes don't even see the lines or any restrictions.
Huertas now gets past the defender, high off the glass. That's tough to defend right there.
That is a tough shot. That is a tough shot. It's a modern shot. That one-legged floater doesn't allow. We call that big man killer because a big man does not have enough time to get to it. Beautiful play by David Huertas.
Lake in the post again. Here comes the help. Lake tried to get over to Sanchez. Sanchez, no call as he fell out of bounds following the shot. And a nice steal there by Del Rio. Rio underneath, and it's going to be Jordan Swing going to the line to try to complete the three-point play. Boy, it looked like Gabriel Bilardo Del Rio got fouled a couple of times, no whistle. And then he got it to Swing, who drew the horn.
Beautiful concentration by Del Rio. Looked like you said, it looked like he was trapped in the corner, got himself out of trouble, and made something good out of nothing on that transition. So Gabriel Del Rio really is kind of like their heart and soul right now, along with Lake, being able to keep momentum going for Humacao.
And now the drive will result in a foul. That's going to be on Ricky Sanchez.
Yeah, Ricky just a little bit late to get on that closeout, which allowed the drive to happen. So he was behind on the play and ended up being called for the blocking foul because of that. So what you want to do as a defensive player, you want to get low and quickly to the ball. That way, if there's any kind of movement, you're right with it, rather than being side by side or behind, where there's a high probability that you might foul.
Chris Gaston short on the free throw, so it remains a 10-point lead at 60-50 for the time being. And he misses the second as well. Gabriel Bilardo Del Rio corrals the rebound. Lardo Del Rio for three. A little strong. Rebound poked around and finally corralled by Swing. Swing from 15. That falls in.
We saw Humacau's best in this play right there. Del Rio took the shot. Lake fought for the rebound. It came back to Swing. A nice going right pull up. Just an easy. He's going to make 9 or 10 out of 10 that wide open.
Back to a 12-point lead for Humacao, and Rafael Cruz wants timeout for Arecibo. And Victor, it does not look like Humacao is going to go away in this one.
No, and that's exactly what you do. The season just started, okay? It doesn't matter who's coming in the building. If it's the defending champions, I want them early. I want to go at them, be able to compete, because if I get this win, now all of a sudden our confidence goes up. We get some momentum. So Humacao has really put themselves here going into the last part of this game, the last 15, 16 minutes, really the chance to win, even though we got a lot of time left. But if you're Humacao, you're feeling good right now about Del Rio, you're feeling good right now about Lake, you got yourself a few things going, and what's going to happen is soon enough, when you give these guys a break, let's see if the bench players can keep the momentum going, because that was a difference maker in the second quarter.
We saw the highlight a moment ago by David Huerta hitting that one-footed floater. I've seen teams practice that over and over and over, where you get into the, you flip that floater up over a folding chair or something, and it seems like that's an easier shot to make in a game than it is to practice. It's almost so instinctive at practicing.
Absolutely, Greg. And this is a new shot. Let's call it a modern shot, because it used to practice where you would come into a stop with the two legs, go up for the jump shot, kind of like DeRozan does, that mid-range game. But what happens here is you as a guard, once you get down the lane, it's a very fast decision that you have to make, because the big man is coming for help. So this shot, this floater off one leg, is actually a shot that you can get off easily, but it does require practice. It's not an easy shot, because it has a different rhythm and a different touch to it. So the young players out there, practice this shot. It is actually extremely important for a guard to have that within their toolbox.
Inside 5 minutes to play in the third quarter, Humacao continues to lead Arecibo by 12. Arecibo cut it to within 6 after trailing by as many as 15 in that first half. Here comes Soto. His float a little short, and that looks like that's going to be foul number 4 on Daquan Lake.
And you see there, Elanu, once he heard that whistle, he should have taken that shot. He actually passed the ball outside. So we saw the referee signal. It was a passing motion. So the ball must be taken here on the sideline and not be a 2-point free throw attempt.
Now, if you're Arecibo with Lake out of the game, you're going to want to pound. Luis Colon in to replace Daquan Lake. He's a bigger body than Daquan Lake by about 40 pounds. So he can bang with Chinamalu Elanu a little bit, but you don't want to keep putting them at the free throw line either.
No, you don't. As a matter of fact, this is what you want to do. As a bench player, you want to come in and bring something different. So perhaps try to front the post. Perhaps make sure that you box him out. Don't let him get the ball, and don't let Elano be such a volume player at this moment for Arecibo.
Three from the corner. That rattles out. Rebound pulled out of there by Elano. Here comes Soto. Just about threw it away, but Liz got the hand on it. Marco Rivera staying with Liz now for the lane, and they're going to call the jump ball. Gaston got tied up by Colon.
Yeah,
Nice
and
defense.
to your point, Well, that's what he brings. He's going to bring that physicality, that presence inside. So good job getting to the ball without fouling. And this is something that you also want to practice. As a young player out there, what you want to do is play defense, play strong defense without fouling. Because the moment that you foul, you're putting the other team on the free throw line. So you don't want to do that. Play good defense, be technical, and don't foul.
You'll notice on that block, Colon did not leave his feet either. Now Bilardo Del Rio has his pocket picked by Soto. And up with the right hand jam! My goodness. Jinamalu Elanu goes up and tomahawks that one.
Had a chance to meet with Elanu last year in one of our junior NBA programs there in Puerto Rico. And people were telling me that Elanu in the first half of the season was considered Arecibo's MVP. By his teammates, the guy that brings the most value, and we're seeing it tonight. The man, you see, at that height, being able to run the floor like he did, and just a beautiful, outstanding jam.
Lead still at 9. Matos on the drive, and he's going to go to the free throw line. They're going to get Collier on that foul. Matos played nearly 38 minutes against Pedro Diaz in the opener. 29-year-old
as a basketball player from Troja Baja, you know, as a basketball player, Craig, no better feeling than walking out of the game, having played high 30 minutes, close to 40. Even though it's a team game, once you're out there, you want to be there. And it must be a great feeling to be a professional basketball player and get close to 40 minutes in the basketball game.
Matos gets the lead back to 11 with 3.5 minutes to play in this third quarter. That's where it was when the quarter started, and so if you are Pedro Gonzalez, you've got to be happy with what your team's doing here in this third quarter. They're surviving Arecibo's run.
That's right. That's right. They took the punch, but now they're going right back in it. So 11-point lead. Again, make sure you don't turn the ball over. Make good decisions so you can keep the game within this distance, double-digit distance, and perhaps all of a sudden you go on yourself on a 6 to 8-0 run and you blow this game out.
Anthony Cambo into the game now. He commits the foul for Humacao, the 23-year-old from Miami. This misses the first free throw. Back to 10. Swing splits the defenders. Oh, and a big block there by Elanu. Humacao had numbers, and Elanu came up with a big defensive play. And now Jonathan Rodriguez will go to the free throw line. What a huge defensive play.
So not only he blocks the shot, but also goes to the floor to get the ball, gets your team in possession. All of a sudden, you're going in transition. So if you're Capitanes de Arecibo, that's what you're trying to do. Get the ball in transition to see if you can get yourself out. And if you're Humacao, you live with it. You had a bunny, you had a layup, it got blocked. Make sure that you get back and don't foul.
Humacao foul was on Timaj Parker Rivera as we watch Jonathan Rodriguez with that unconventional free throw style.
Very unconventional indeed, but I tell you what, because it's different doesn't mean it's wrong, okay? So the young ones out there, make sure that you practice, make sure that you practice in different ways. You can develop different skill sets and be able to pick from the one that you're most efficiently with. Okay, so we have seen guys switch hands used to shoot free throws with the right hand, now shooting with the left. We have seen guys shoot from undershots, right? The Rick Barry of the world. So now we're seeing the one-handed. Because it's different doesn't mean it's wrong.
I've seen guys, if they've struggled at the free throw line, actually take jump shots for their free throws.
Yep, take jump shots, switch hands, take a step back, take a step to the side. So now all of a sudden you see him here shooting one hand, it means that he's able to line the ball up really well and be able to, with the flick of his wrist, go on a straight line. So it works for him, why not?
Now the feed to Parker Rivera, in close. Shot by Colon, no good, and here comes Arecibo back the other way. Nice defense there. I believe that was Matos that forced the miss on the layup. It was.
Yeah, and Matos with a beautiful defensive play. He stayed within his stance, and he challenged the player going up, okay? You can always challenge up in the verticality. And it was a huge play because all of a sudden this lead could have been cut into 6 points, and probably Coach Pedro Gonzalez was going to call timeout, but now all of a sudden you're still up 8 and you have the ball. So those are the type of plays that don't go on the stats, but are definitely winning plays.
Minute 50 to play, third quarter, swing to Parker Rivera. Shot won't go. Now this into the front court. Got a nice swing. I think he wants the ISO here. No, he wants to get it in the post to Ilanu. Ilanu blows right by Luis Colon and draws the foul.
Yeah, that's a bad defensive possession. We spoke about it before. You cannot give baseline to him. So he saw the opening, went straight to the basket. So you have to make a decision here. What is our coaching philosophy in terms of when the ball goes down low to Ilanu, knowing that he's the best player? Are we going to trap? Are we going to allow the one-on-one? That time we didn't do neither.
So now Colon sits down. Nathaniel Butler comes on. Chinamalu Ilanu with 21 points on 8 of 10 shooting from the floor. Ilanu misses the second and swiped off by Parker Rivera, but it goes out of bounds, and that's a bad break for Humacao.
It is, and for those watching there, in FIBA rules, once it touched the rim, you're able to clean it, to swipe it out. That's exactly what happened. They gave up the possession, but they did not give up a point. Butler
nearly stole the inbound pass. Soto. And a whistle before the shot. I think they're going to get Nathaniel Butler on the foul. So Victor Liz can cut this lead to 6 with a pair of free throws here, and he misses the first.
Beautiful break there for Humacao, because you can see Arecibo putting their style into this game. They're starting to live at the free throw line. So if you're Humacao, again, stay consistent. Don't foul. Don't put him on the free throw line. Don't give them freebies and try to build on this lead.
Arecibo now 13 of 23 from the free throw line. And it is a 7-point lead for Humacao.
And that's a break, because you would expect Arecibo to be shooting a higher free throw percentage. But again, don't give them the chance to live at the line.
And an offensive foul on Jordan's swing. By the same token, Humacao has only taken 9 free throws in the game.
Yeah, and that goes into that inside presence. You know, when you start looking, guys living in the lane, driving, that's when you start to see more free throws being taken. But here you go, Humacao, football pressure. They also put pressure on the wing pass and able to get the ball back through a turnover.
Rivera around the screen by Butler, hands it off to Swing. High left wing, now into the corner. 3. Swing throws back around. Feet to shoot. Swing on the drive. Into the corner. 3 on the way from Tambo. We're good. Rebound tipped and taken out of there by Parker Rivera. Tambo now off the glass. That won't go for Parker Rivera. Humacao had some good looks. 25 to play in the quarter. It's a 7-point lead for Humacao.
And I bet you he wants to take that one back for sure.
This in the corner, 3 on the way. That's good.
Well, there you have it. What could have been a 9-point lead now becomes a 6. A 4-point swing.
And now the floater at the buzzer won't go, and Arecibo has cut this lead down to 4. That's been since 64-60 in favor of Grises de Humacao. For the defending champions, Capitanes de Arecibo. We will be back with fourth quarter action in just one moment.
Se puede con un préstamo personal de la Cooperativa Oriental. Ponte al día con tus metas financieras con un cómodo pago mensual que tienes hasta 90 días para hacer el primer pago. Llama al 787-418-2021. Cooperativa de Ahorro y Crédito Oriental, la alternativa de todo un pueblo.
It's a 64-60 lead for Humacao over Arecibo as we head into the fourth quarter. As for the second consecutive quarter, Arecibo has outscored Humacao 21-16 after Humacao exploded for 32 points in that first quarter. Alongside Victor Mansoure, I'm Craig Feda. And Victor, what does Humacao have to do to hang on in this one?
Well, Humacao has to keep their composure, keep their emotions in place, and execute. You saw there they had a 7-point lead to close out the quarter. Missed a bunny, could have gone up 9, and all of a sudden you took a 3-pointer on the other end. So it's a 5-point swing that brings the game into 4. A 4-point lead in the fourth quarter is nothing. So you're playing this game as it is 0-0. Okay, you're gonna feed the ball to your main guys, Del Rio, Swing, Lake. Those are the guys that have got you this far. So you want to close the game out with them. Feed them early in the fourth quarter and feed them in the late of the game. So don't go away from your main assets, your main players in the fourth quarter.
That last 3-pointer for Arecibo was made by Centron, 32-year-old from Santurce. And with 10 minutes to play, Humacao looking for the huge upset over the defending champions, Capitanes de Arecibo. Arecibo made that run in the third quarter with the quad bench and foul trouble for Humacao. Lease. And now a foul called.
And that's where you, for the referee crew, you want to keep the game consistent. You've allowed the bumps throughout the whole game, and now we've had 2 quick fouls here with less than 15 seconds to go. Humacao already has 2 team fouls. So again, you want to stay away from foul trouble and don't make Arecibo leave at the line.
That last one against Anthony Cambo, and now another foul.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, that's 3 fouls in 1 possession pretty much, less than 20 seconds into the 4th quarter. And it was a foul. Rivera did get beat, challenge him upstairs. But now you have already 3 team fouls. The next one will put you in bonus. So not a good start here for Humacao in the 4th.
If it was on Cambo or as Ramon Cintron hits the free throw to make it a 3-point lead.
Because what happens, Greg, is once Arecibo is living on the free throw line, it allows them to set their defense on the way back. So if they're able to shoot free throws, they're going to have a set defense. So on the other end, Humacao, if you don't foul and you rebound, all of a sudden you're playing transition and you're playing with numbers.
64-62. You knew Arecibo was not going to go away in this one as Swing goes to the glass, doesn't get it to fall, but he's going to go to the free throw line. And now a lot of whistles by our officiating crew in this first minute of this 4th quarter.
Absolutely.
First 40 seconds of this 4th quarter.
Yeah, and to what you mentioned, you do expect Arecibo to come back like this. You do expect the defending champs to go out, at least giving you a fight. And that's exactly what they did. They did not hang their heads. Even though they were down, I believe, as much as 11 or 13, now all of a sudden we do have ourselves a great basketball game going into the last 9 minutes.
Arecibo was actually down 15 at the outset of the 2nd quarter. They trailed 35-20. They have climbed nearly all the way back in this one.
And that's what great teams do. They figure out, they adjust, and they come back in. So if you're Humacao, you expect this. Make sure that you close the game out strong.
Quan Lake still on the bench for Humacao with those 4 fouls. Swing the long 3-pointer. That just missed left. Another rebound for Chinamalu Elanu. Elanu, 21 points and 8 rebounds. As this time it's Devin Collier scoring to get the lead back to 2. And now it seems like Humacao is just happy to jack up threes. That is not what you want. Not a good offensive set there for home Grays. As
You're
now
absolutely right, Greg.
Arecibo can tie it up. Here's Elanu, kick out, 3 on the way. Missed. And a strong rebound there by Nathaniel Butler.
Got to get a good shot here.
Now Jordan Swing from the foul line, no good. Cambo fighting for the rebound. It goes out of bounds as he was battling with Elanu.
For our young ones
now
out
Luis
there
Rivera
watching,
will have a seat.
What happens, Greg, is when you take quick shots, when you make quick decisions, you don't have any flow into your offensive rebound. You don't have players are not even ready for that shot. So it's very important that you know the right moment to take that shot.
So Bilardo back into the game now for Humacao, and he promptly turns it over. And Humacao not looking terribly crisp to start this 4th quarter, Victor.
No, they have not. Committed a couple of fouls, taken a few bad shots. We got the turnover right there. So you must regroup and finish the last 7 minutes here executing with your best options.
Liz working on Belardo Del Rio, the floater. That's good. And we are tied up at 66.
Beautiful play there by Victor Liz, going above the defender into his layup steps and then finishing with the floater.
And now the jumper misses. Arecibo can't take the lead on that shot, but there is a whistle.
Ricky came a little bit late there on the rebound on the opposite end. As you see there, he just a little bit late getting there and then fell on top of the offensive player. And Humacao now, from my count here, is already their fourth foul, so they're in bonus throughout the entire rest of the fourth quarter.
That's a tough spot to be in, as Arecibo misses the easy shot, which would have given them the lead. Now swing, gets it to Parker Rivera, and he misses. Beg your pardon, that was Nathaniel Butler. We remain tied at 66 with 6.5 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. Liz launches the three, no good. Rebound Butler. Now all of a sudden neither team can score. 66-66 into the lane, and Gabriel Belardo Del Rio with the pretty bucket, and he's got 17 points now.
And that's what you do. Things are not going your way, not going really well. Okay, put your head down, go to the basket, and get yourself an easy one.
And a miss. Arecibo, and at the other end, Belardo Del Rio scores again. He's got 17 points. One of 4 players in double figures for Humacao. And now all of a sudden, Arecibo wants timeout. For a moment there, Victor, I thought Pedro Gonzalez was going to have to take timeout. Things were not going Humacao's way. And all of a sudden, just like that, momentum swings back in the Grays' favor.
Yes, it is. And you see the importance of decision making. So David Huertas from Arecibo's side actually perhaps precipitated 2 of his shots and allowed Humacao to get the possession and then push the ball to Gabriel Del Rio. So Del Rio, if you look at his shooting chart, he's just an offensive threat. He can shoot from the corner. He can shoot the mid-range. He can get to the basket. So if you're Humacao, keep playing through him in the last 7 minutes here.
There's the shot by Liz, which tied it up at 66, and then the layup by Belardo Del Rio. Gabriel Belardo Del Rio with 19 points in just over 24 minutes of action. Jordan Swing has 15, Daquan Lake has 12, and Jorge Matos has 12 for Humacao. Chinamalu Elanu with 21 for Arecibo. No other player for Arecibo is in double figures. Victor Liz has 9, David Huertas has 9, and Devin Collier has 8. So nice balanced scoring by Humacao.
Nice balanced scoring, and this man right here has been on the mission since he started the game. Gabriel Belardo, as you can see, he's in one rhythm. He's gonna be a volume guy. He's gonna attack the basket, put pressure on Arecibo. Let's see if he can do a couple more of those and put Humacao in a position to win the game.
Pedro Gonzalez is going to have to lean on his starters, as Arecibo is outscoring Humacao on bench points 22-7.
And that time, not
Humacao
a good
leads.
defensive possession.
Humacao leads points in the paint 42-32. Humacao benefiting from more points from turnovers, 16-10. Back to a 2-point lead.
And there is number 17, referee Martinez, one of FIBA's great, has been around the BSN FIBA competition, 3-on-3. Seemed like he was a bit shaken up there, but good to go to finish the game.
Swing back over to Belardo Del Rio into the paint, up off the glass. No bucket, but he gets a whistle, and Belardo Del Rio just keeps attacking.
Just keep attacking, and young people out there, look at this. He didn't go straight into the player. He actually went towards the right a little bit, try to create some space, and that's what generated the blocking foul. Had him gone straight to the guy, it perhaps would have been a charge or a challenge upstairs, but the fact that he had enough body control, enough balance just to move away a little bit, got himself 2 free throws.
Belardo scores the first. And Victor, did you ever play with a man bun, your hair in a man bun like that?
I did not have that opportunity, but I'm glad that Belardo is doing a great job with it right now.
I think you'd rock a man bun.
Why not? Fighting days, playing days, we could try anything.
Soto with the nice drive around the left side and the lay-in, and the lead is down to 1.
For the last 2 defensive possessions for Humacao, you cannot allow lanes to give wide open layups for Arecibo. Stay in front of your man.
Shot missed, and Arecibo with another chance to take the lead. Huertas over to Soto. 4:25 to play. Soto. And now they finally find Ilanu, and Ilanu gives Arecibo the lead at 72-71 after long last. Arecibo has finally chipped and chipped and chipped and come all the way back, and with 4:18 to play, Pedro Gonzalez wants timeout. It's the first lead of the game for Capitanes de Arecibo since the first quarter. Humacao led by as many as 15 in that first half. They maintained an 11-point lead into the second, but Arecibo has continued to chip away, and Pedro Gonzalez takes time out. And Victor, if you are Pedro Gonzalez, what do you tell the Grays in this huddle?
Well, I'll be telling my guys that we must stick to our game plan and take out the main players of Arecibo. Obviously, this sounds a lot easier than done, but you see right here on this play, it was just giving Del Rio a lane, and here's the second one. So you have given up 2 lanes. You cannot allow that. At this time right there, Soto just with a beautiful pass, threading the needle to Ilanu. So you can live with that last one, but not the first 2. So stay in front of your guy, okay? Don't foul, and fight for those rebounds positions. That's what I'll be telling my guys on the defensive end, because if you do that, it will give yourself some transition, get the ball. If you don't have any clean look, back it out, and then play through Del Rio, and play through Lake perhaps. They can come back here the last 4 minutes and try to get yourself good quality looks in the last perhaps 10 to 8 possessions of the game.
And we saw Ilanu make that last basket up over Daquan Lake, and Lake could not challenge that bucket because he is in foul trouble. So he basically had to let Ilanu have that basket. Lake playing with 4 fouls, as is Ricky Sanchez. Matos gets swatted out of bounds. It'll be Humacao ball with 5 to shoot.
And you practice these situations. 5 seconds on the shot clock. You have a quick hitter off the inbound, and there it is.
Arecibo with a chance to extend this 1-point lead. Huertas, 8 to shoot. Attacks and turns it over. Up ahead to Lake. Lake goes up and jams it home with the right hand. And Humacao is back on top, 73-72.
When your big fellow runs the lane, reward him. Make sure you give it to him, and that's exactly what happened. Rewarding the big man running in the trailer.
And again, Lake pretty much had to let Soto have that one. He did not want to go up and challenge it. Playing with 4 fouls. Now Butler on the drive. He pulls it up and hands it off to Sanchez. Now back out to Matos. 9 to shoot. Matos on the attack, gives it up to Lake. Lake's hook shot short. Rebound ping-ponged around and finally taken out of there by Chris Gaston. Coming up on 2.5 minutes to play. Arecibo by 1. As Ilanu finishes with the tip to make it a 3-point lead, 76-73.
And Humacao playing with the 3 bigs can not allow Arecibo to have second chances.
Minutes to play. And the crafty move there by Gabriel Bilardo Del Rio, and he's going to go to the free throw line to try to complete the 3-point play. A little hesitation up and under move, and he draws the foul on Chinamalu Elanu.
Yeah, very important to stay under control. Young players out there, you saw that he got himself in the lane, didn't panic, stayed within a good footwork, and was able to step through and draw contact.
Bilardo Del Rio, 3 of 5 from the free throw line tonight. Books that one, and we're tied back up at 76. Arecibo turns it over. And now Humacao looking to take the lead back with 1:42 to play.
Let Del Rio go to work.
Del
He's been
Rio.
your man all night. Let's see what he can get you.
He's got 22 points. Swing over to Sanchez, now into the corner. Matos on the attack, and he gets the shot. George Matos driving from the sideline. Elevates up over big Chinamalu Elanu, gets the bucket and draws the foul.
We just saw the
What a
BSN
play
in the
by
Puerto
George
Rico.
Matos.
And the Puerto Rican League, Craig, at his best right there. The man taking the ball hard to the rack, keep enough concentration, get the hit, draw the contact, and the fans go crazy here at Humacao.
So Matos will try to complete the 3-point play. He's 2 for 2 from the free throw line tonight. Matos makes it a 3-point lead for Humacao, 79-76.
Got to get a stop here.
1:20 to play. Lanu kicks it into the corner. That 3 is short, and the rebound Matos. Wing had it. Gets it back, gets it to Lake. Now finally, Up ahead to swing, and a little too far. And that's going to be Arecibo ball.
Yep, 8-second violation. Arecibo never
with a couple
had
of chances.
possession.
Yeah, you saw the shot clock at 15, so that was clearly an 8-second violation. I know the fans aren't happy, but that was the correct call.
Yep, the ball remains in possession of the team until the other one gains possession. So Arecibo did not, and Humacao ended up with an 8-second count.
Shot clock at 5, into the corner, 3 on the way. That's no good. Rebound tip, out of bounds. It's going to stay with Arecibo.
And how exciting is this? 45 seconds to go, 3-point game. First home game for Humacao, playing against the defending champs. Let's see if they can pull this one out.
Regardless of how this ends, Victor, if you're Humacao, you've got to be extremely pleased with how your team not only built the lead, but hung in there and then came back after Arecibo took the lead. But now Huertas for 3, no good, rebound late. 35 seconds to play, wing into the front court, he's going to draw the foul.
Humacao got a break there. Not a great defensive possession. Huertas came through on that curl, wide open for the 3. Good thing it rimmed out. Let's see if Swing now can ice this game and make it a 2 possession.
(79-76) with 32.4 to play. Swing at the free throw line. It's the first. He's now 3 of 4 on the night, and it's a 4-point lead. There's that 2-possession game you talked about, Victor.
Make this free throw and get a stop, and you're going to put yourself in a great position to win this basketball game. So with the timeout here being called, Pedro Gonzalez, you might want to go with your best defensive players to try to see if you can get that stop.
And if you're Pedro Gonzalez here, do you take Daquan Lake out, or do you leave him in with those 4 fouls?
If I have an alternative, I might think about if somebody can come in and actually be a presence inside there. But with only a few seconds left in the game, I would perhaps keep Lake in there, because not only on the defensive end, but also on the rebounding side. And you roll the dice a little bit with that 4 fouls.
I'm thinking the same thing, because if you put Luis Colon in there, that's a quick, potential easy bucket for Arecibo if you feed Ilanu, and then a quick foul, and you get another possession back. So I like the idea of leaving Lake in there.
Leave Lake in there. Leave the players that have been giving you contributions on the defensive end, especially Lake. He's been a presence, okay? So if you're Arecibo, because they're down 5, they might want to go for a quick shot. They might want to go for a quick 3-point shot. So make sure you stay attentive to that. Play the perimeter, okay? But because you're already in foul trouble, don't hand check. Don't put your hand. Stay within just a arm reach so you can contest the shot, but without fouling.
Gabriel Bilardo del Rio has 23 points for Humacao. Jordan Swing has 17. George Matos has 15. Daquan Lake, 14. For Arecibo, Chinamalu Ilanu has 25. No one else in double figures. David Huertas has 9. Victor Liz has 9. .32 seconds to play. Soto gets it back. That 3 is up and good.
They executed that to perfection. Only wasted a few seconds on the shot clock. Got Cintron a wide open 3. So if you're Humacao, that's exactly what you did not want. But let's give credit to Arecibo here to actually run a beautiful drawn play.
Cintron, he was 1 for 4 from three-point range in the opener. For Arecibo, he hit a tough shot there. The defender was closing, and he was a good 24 feet away. That was a long three-pointer. So now, Victor, what does Pedro Gonzalez draw up here on the inbound play?
So the first thing is that you're going to advance the ball on this timeout. So you're going to take it in the front court, okay? By taking it in the front court, what you want to do is get the ball into your ball handler. Get the ball into people that will actually be able to protect, okay? If Arecibo plays straight up defense, you might want to spread out and play a pick and roll or go into a quick hitter, okay? If they come into a foul, then you're playing the foul game. So make sure that the ball goes into your best free throw shooters. So the first step here is inbound the ball, spacing, okay? Being strong with it, and if you do get fouled, concentration to knock your free throws.
And we talked about the youth of Humacao, but in this situation, you're going to have a lot of experienced players on the floor. Jordan Swing, 31 years old. Gabriel Belardo Del Rio, 32. Daquan Lake, the youngest player out there at 25. Matos is 29.
And Arecibo is going to have to make it
33 years old. So these guys won't panic if and when Arecibo gives them a little pressure.
Absolutely. And because there's 26 seconds left, what does Arecibo do? Do they foul? They won't have enough time, so most likely they'll fall right here.
Oh, and very close to an offensive foul. Cintron wanted the offensive foul there. My goodness, that was close, Victor.
Yeah, that's one that might be the toughest call in basketball right there.
That was a good call. That was a good call. The defender was moving. His body was angled. He was not set. That is an excellent call by the official.
Absolutely. And gutsy call, too, with only 20 seconds to go. Independent of the score, independent of the time. If you're the ref, you make the call that needs to be made at that moment.
So now Matos to the free throw line. Matos 3 for 3 from the stripe tonight. Huge free throw here. Matos makes it a 4-point lead. 15 to play. Ilanu scores.
Well, you got to get into your press break here. Execute your press break. Get the ball into your best free throw shooter, and they do with Matos. So these are the type of situations, Greg, that you practice for. You know, you put a few, either you're up or down in the score, a few seconds left, and you practice this over and over again. So it should be no surprise to be in this kind of situation in the game.
Matos back to the free throw line with 11 seconds to play. Matos short on the first free throw.
And if you make this when you're up by 3, huge, and you make this and you're up by 3, and there's less than 4 seconds left on the possession, you might consider fouling. So first play straight up, don't foul, and see what the read is.
In clock at 8, and there's the foul. With 7.4 to play. And do you like that foul there?
Well, if I'm Humacao, I don't want to foul that early. You had Arecibo in a bad possession, actually. They had nothing going for them. But you live with a high-pressure defense. So you're hoping that they will miss one here. If they don't, they make both. You're still up by one. Run your press breaks. Get the ball to your best free throw shooter, and keep this three-point game going.
Puedes has not attempted a free throw here tonight. In fact, he has not attempted one here this season. He hits the first. Puedes lines up the second and misses. And a quick foul by Arecibo with 5.9 to play.
So a long walk to the free throw line. If you're late here, you want to take a couple of breaths, and if you knock these two down, the game is over. So Humacao in a great position to knock out the defending champions tonight.
Daquan Lake 0 for 1 from the free throw line in this game.
And if you're Pedro Gonzalez, you might want to go with quick defenders too. So after this first shot, let's see if he brings out quick defender. He does not. He remains with the 5 that he has, up by 3. If he knocks this down, it's good night, Arecibo.
Lake to ice it. A little strong. Long three-pointer is no good. And Humacao has pulled off the upset. They've defeated the defending champions, Capitanes de Arecibo, 85-82 in their home opener at Marcelo Trujillo Coliseum. What a great victory for Grises de Humacao. Daquan Lake hitting one free throw with 5.9 to play, forcing a long three-pointer from Arecibo. They did not get a good shot off. They missed. And Humacao pulls off the upset, taking down the defending champions by 3 points. And Victor Mansoure, Pedro Gonzalez, and the rest of his team just have to be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah, it is a party tonight in Humacao. La fiesta va a empezar because they have just won their first home game. They go 1-1. Again, the first 10 games are so critical for you to see what kind of season you might have. So very happy to see Humacao pull off the win against Arecibo.
The only thing maybe that Humacao needs to improve upon is getting a little more out of their bench, but my goodness, they weathered the storm that Arecibo put on in that second half. They played like a strong veteran team. You would not know that this team went 3-29 last year. They gave the champs all they could handle and then some.
Yes, they did, Craig, and they did it through good percentages on the 2-point shot. So they shoot 56% on the 2. They went hot early, ended up not hitting as much three-pointers in the second half, but because they had a good field goal percentage going in, that kept them going. They won the rebounding battle 36-35. They won the assist game 24-14. So great game by Humacao. You want to build on this. You want to go into Sunday, get a second home win, and then all of a sudden you're growing into the tournament.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers on this one. For Humacao, Daquan Lake, 15 points, 8 rebounds. Jordan Swing, 17 points. As we look at some of the team numbers, leading scorer for Humacao, Gabriel Bilardo Del Rio, 23 points. He had 7 assists and 4 rebounds. George Matos, 18 points, 4 assists. Ricky Sanchez, just 5 points, but he had 5 rebounds and 7 assists. Dimash Parker Rivera had 3 points. Nathaniel Butler had 4. And that rounds out the scoring for Humacao. For Arecibo, they fall to 1-1. Joseph Soto had 6 points. Victor Liz had 9. Chinamalu Elanu had 27 points on 11 of 13 shooting. He added 13 rebounds. Chris Gaston had 5. David Huertas had 10. As we look at some of the highlights, Jonathan Rodriguez had 6 for Arecibo. Brandon Boyd had 3. Raymond Cintron had 8. And Devin Collier had 8. A couple of notable absences from the score sheet, Victor. Walter Hodge did not play, nor did Jezreel De Jesus. To be fair to Arecibo, they did not have 2 of their biggest guns play a minute in this game. But still a great effort by Humacao. Victor, final thoughts on this one real quick.
Yeah, well, I thought that is a tremendous win for Humacao. They went up early in the beginning, and that put themselves in a position to compete. So great win. Go back tomorrow, watch on film a few things that you did well, things that you got to improve on, and then come into Sunday with the same mentality and try to get the second home win as well.
For my partner, Victor Mansoure, I'm Craig Feta. Thanks so much for watching. Humacao takes down the defending champions, Capitanes de Arecibo. We will be back Sunday night as Humacao takes on San German at 8 o'clock. We will see you then. Thanks again for watching, everybody. So long from Humacao.
Ahora se puede con un préstamo personal de la Cooperativa Oriental. Ponte al día con tus metas financieras con un cómodo pago mensual que tienes hasta 90 días para hacer el primer pago. Llama al 787-418-2021. Cooperativa de Ahorro y Crédito Oriental, la alternativa de todo un pueblo.